Welcome to Crack It. Today in this video we are going to discuss two important annotations, and this is a very important Spring Security interview question. So if you have Spring Security in your resume, you can expect this question in your interview. So what is at pre-filter annotation? What is at post-filter annotation? What is the differences between these two? And have you ever used at pre-filter or post-filter in your application? If so, when did you used it? So you can expect all these questions in your interview if you have Spring Security in your resume. So let's try to understand what these annotations are and what is its use case with a code demo. If I want to enable at pre-filter and at post-filter in my application, then I need to use at enable method security in my application. So if I want to use this annotation, then I need to make sure that I have used at enable method security in my Spring Boot application. For the code demo, I'm using the same code that I have used for Spring Security JWT. I just want to show those two annotations in this demo. So I have added that piece of code in my Spring Security JWT crash course. So we have a crash course for the Spring Security JWT implementation. If you didn't go through it, I'll just provide the link here. You can go through it if you want it. That's a crash course wherein we have explained everything on how we can create a JWT token in our Spring Boot application, and how we can use that JWT token for the authentication and the authorization using Spring Security. So we already have covered a crash course for it. If you want to go through, I'll provide the link here. You can go through it. So I'm just reusing the same application. So as I told earlier, we need to use this at enable method security annotation if we want to use at pre-filter and at post-filter. So in my code, I have my security configuration class wherein I have used this at enable method security. So if we go into this annotation, you can see that, just I'll show you that. So you can see that for pre-filter and post-filter, this annotation should be enabled. So if we use this at enable method security annotation in our class, the pre-filter and the post-filter annotations will be enabled. So we have added that in our class, in our security configuration class, which means we can use that annotation in our application. So next, these annotations should support arrays, collections, maps or streams. So I'll show this point in code now. So this pre-filter annotation, if we see, this always supports arrays, collections, maps and streams. So what is it? So if we are going to filter something, then that should be from the list. If I have only one object, then there's no need for me to filter. So this pre-filter annotation always accepts the request body as list, map or streams or any collections. It is because this filtering is happening on some of the collection objects. So if we go inside this pre-filter annotation, we can see that this is happening on the collection object, and it will remove those objects, or it will filter only those things which is not satisfying this condition. Let's in this example, if you see, I have given a filter object dot member name not equals of tester. So in my request body, I have something called this member name, and if my member name is not equal to tester, then please do these conditions only for those elements in this list. If suppose I have an element in this list with the member name as tester, then that specific thing will get filtered even before this point. That is why we are using this at pre-filter annotation. So for the at pre-filter annotation to work, we need to have this at request body as a list. For this at post-filter annotation to work, what do we need to do? We need to have this response as a collection. So we need to have this response as a collection, or as an array, as a stream or as a map. So that should be a collection, more than one object. If there's only one, there's no need for us to use these annotations. That is the second point. So now let's start with the code demo. So it's very easy. I have added a method in my controller class. So I already have a controller. In that controller I have added a method which is a post mapping. And in my post mapping, what I'm doing, I have a request body which is accepting a list of member info. As I told earlier, if I want to use at pre-filter annotations, then my request body should be a collection. So I have this request body as a collection, and which is nothing but a member info object. So what is my member info object? It will just have a ID and a member name. So if why am I using this pre-filter annotation? So if I use this pre-filter annotation, let's assume I have a list and the size of this list is 10. Let's assume the size of my list is 10. In that I have like 3 objects. In those 3 objects has the member names as tester. I don't want these piece of code. I don't want this method to be executed if my member name is tester. So what I'm doing, if suppose I apply this condition to my method, what will happen? If you see here, what will get printed in this line? It will print only 7. It is because 3 items have the member name as tester, and those items will get omitted, and this piece of code will be executed only for the rest of the 7 elements. So in such scenarios we need to use pre-filter. So we need to use pre-filter when I have a very huge list. In that I know something is like something may be redundant, or I don't want this piece of code to be executed for a specific condition. If I know that in a prior way, then I can use this at pre-filter annotation in my code. So this pre-filter, it is filtering pre, meaning even before it goes to this point, this condition will get executed and my request body will just have 7 here. So even before it comes here, it will have just the 7 values. It is because this pre-filter annotation will filter all those elements. So that is the beauty of this pre-filter annotation. Let's see this demo. So I have this members object, and inside that member object, what condition, this is a Spring's expression language I have used. So I am filtering those elements with member name as, if the member name is not equals to tester, it will execute this piece of code. If this member name is tester, it will not execute this piece of code. So this filter object, this is a standard Spring expression language. This is what we have to use in my member info. If my filter object, what is this member name? This member name, I have to copy it from here and I have to use that value here. So if my filter object dot member name not equals to tester, then this piece of code will get executed. If it is equals tester, this will not get executed. So let's see the demo of it. I'll start the application and let's see how it works by hitting this endpoint from the Postman. So let's see the demo for this pre-filter. So you can see that I have a request body, and this is my request body wherein I have 4 elements of my member info, and for 3 of those I have given the member name as tester, and for only 1 I have given it as tester1. So we have applied pre-filter condition, and if I send the hit request, you can see that you can only one element is here. So let's go to the code now. So, and I want to show you this thing here. So you can see that member list size is 1 when it enters to this block. So even if we have this, we have the system.out.println immediately after this method. So even there you can see that the member list size is only 1. Why this is only 1? It is because we have filtered all those elements with the member name as tester. That is why. And if we are returning that members list, the same members list which we accept here, it is returning just only the one element. Why? Even before it is coming here, that list has been pre-filtered. That is the reason we are getting only one element in the list even in the response, and all these got filtered even before coming to this point, and that's the reason in our console we are seeing the member list size as 1. So I hope this is clear. So if suppose I'm changing this member name to test1, and if I hit send, you can see that I can see the 2 elements here, And here you can see that the member list size is 2, and we can see 2 elements got printed with id. One is Cracker Techie Talks and the other one is Cracker Techie Talks 1 @gmail.com. So this is the way this pre-filter is executing. So this pre-filter annotation, what will it do? Even before this the list or the request body, even before it is handing over to this method, it will filter all those lists. It will filter the list, then only it will hand over that request to this method. So but what will this post filter do? This post filter, it will hand over the entire list to this method, but while returning that, it will filter all those elements. So what will happen? I will have in this member list, if suppose I am passing 10, I will have only 10. Here it will print only 10, because we are just printing the member size. But while returning, what will it do? While returning, it will filter all those elements with the member name as tester. So while returning, it will return just if suppose we have 3 elements with 7, so it will return just 3. Why? While returning, it will filter those elements satisfying this condition. So let's see the demo for this as well. So through demo, you can understand it really well. So we have this thing as post filter. I'll just save it. So this as post filter. So in the post filter, what I'm doing, I'm passing the same list with 4 elements, and you can see that in the response we are getting only 2. But in the console, if you see here, the admin's list size is 4. Why this is printing the size as 4? It is because the post filter will not filter the elements even before it is handing over to the method. It will filter only while returning those elements to the client. So initially the size was 4. It is printing all those 4 members, but while handing it over to the client, it will filter the elements which is satisfying this condition. So what is our condition? It will filter only those elements which is not equal to tester. So tester 1 is not equals to tester. That is why we are getting 2 entries here. So pre-filter, what will it do? It will filter even before this method is getting executed. Post filter, what will it do? It will filter those elements after the execution of this method. This is the difference between this pre-filter and post filter. Both this pre-filter and the post filter, we can use it along with at pre-authorize and post authorize. So there's no restriction that we can use this annotation only if only if there is no other annotation is there. No, it's not like the case. If we have pre-authorize here or if we have post authorize here, it's all well and good. We can use that we can use these annotations along with this annotation. So if you want a specific if you want a separate video for at pre-authorize and at post authorize, please let me know in the comment section. I'll cover that as a separate video. This is also one of the frequently asked interview question. So to recap, if you want to use at pre-filter or post filter, we need to use at enable method security in application. We need to use this pre-filter and post-filter over arrays, collections, maps and streams. And pre-filter, what will this do? This will filter the collection based on the security rules that we define even before executing the method. But post-filter, what will it do? It will filter the collection based on the security rule we define on the returned collection or arrays after executing the method. This is before executing the method and this is after executing the method. And the the rules that we define, we are using the expression based access control in the Spring Security. So also we can use this at pre-filter and at post-filter annotations along with the at pre-authorize and at post-authorize annotations. So we have already seen the code demo. So thanks for watching Crackit. If you like the content, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Stay tuned for the updates.